Hello everyone, good afternoon, hope you're having a fab time. And I do take heckling, I have to say. Please interrupt me and feel free to abuse me and... That's what I mean. Thank you all for coming to Ellie and Paul's wedding here in Grasmere. May I, on behalf of Julie and me, Pam and Neil, and of course Ellie and Paul, welcome you all to the Daffodil. When I say hello everyone, you all say hello Phil. It's not rocket science. Slightly serious note, may I also mention Anne, Paul's late mum, who passed away just last November, and today is greatly missed by all of us, but especially by Paul and Ellie. Ellie mentioned to me that last month, whilst her and Paul were reminiscing, that she realised that she first met Anne in 2017, on April the 22nd. That's not a coincidence, that's fate, that is. It gives me great pleasure and pride to inform you that sitting just to my, and it says left in my speech, but they aren't. They're on my right. So somebody's...
We broke tradition, sorry.
No, correct me if I'm wrong here. Just to my right are Mr. Feeney and Mrs. Thomas Feeney.
Correct.
Right, that's a few paragraphs I can scribble out. I hope you agree, anyway, obviously you will agree, that they make a very lovely couple. I'm as proud, this is where the Welshness in me comes across, and I will probably start blubbering in a minute, so that's when more heckling comes in. Just sort myself out.
In Welsh?
So, you translate. I was proud as I could be of my beautiful, charming, witty daughter, who is looking absolutely fabulous.
Yes, she is.
Paul, you're a very lucky, lucky man.
I am.
She's a very lucky girl too. And you told me to say that. May I also welcome Paul into our corner of the Thomas Swansea family. And I know Pam and Neil extend the same welcome into their family. Paul, Ellie has been very blessed to have you as a husband. And all I've written here is vice versa, which means you've told me it's the But who'd have thought we'd have had a double-barreled name in the Thomas family? It makes us sound very gentrified. But my father and grandfather were brought up in Swansea's east side and lived in Portennant, just across the road from Swansea Docks.
I'm down with this, come on.
There's always one. Donna, I'll take heckling from just about everyone. But Liverpudlians think Scotland Road and he won't be far off. My grandpa, Ellie's great-grandfather, and her beloved grandpa were East Side Swansea born and bred. My grandfather, Tom Thomas, was a docker. Now, Tom Thomas, I say that, and that was his name, Thomas Thomas. So we have Mrs. Thomas Feeney. I'm just reading back here now. We have this is getting complicated. We have here now Mrs. Thomas Feeney, and my grandpa was Thomas Thomas. Now, as a docker, he liked to have a drink or two, or 22.
So
And
does she.
he'd probably try to convince us that he was the first owner of a double-barreled name in the Swansea family. I don't think he'd get away with that, even as pissed as you lot are. I don't think he would. But he'd give it a good go anyway, my grand. Okay, this is the formal bit, right? So bear with me.
No heckling.
No, this is serious. This being my first, and I've got FOB, which I assume means father of the bride. This being my first father of the bride speech, I thought I'd better find out what it was all about, what to say, and more importantly, what not to say. Hence the script, because if I go off this script, I'm in the khaki. It will come as a relief to most of you to find out that it's not my job to make you laugh. Because that's
Stephen.
Who said no pressure then? Because that's what it says in my speech. Somebody's had my speech. So anyway, if I do say the wrong thing or don't say the right thing, don't blame me. Take it up with Google. And the advice was to tell a couple of little anecdotes about my anyway. About Ellie. But how can you tell a couple of anecdotes about Ellie? Like, we all booked until Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah. From her earliest years, Ellie was a curious child. Sorry.
Is this going?
No, I scribbled that bit out. Sorry. What I mean is, she was curious about things, as opposed to just being a curious child.
I think you were like the first time.
She was read to, music was played, she loved to learn, she loved reading, she loved watching old films. If I had a pound, shit, I can't do that. If I had a pound for every time I've seen The Wizard of Oz, bang, bang, you know.
You'd be a rich man.
Well, I am a rich man. Oh, that wasn't.
Party up, Bill! He's getting around, isn't he?
Hands on him!
That wasn't scripted, honestly. During her early school years, she was identified officially as a gifted and talented pupil by her school. Oh yeah. In writing, we had that. and it came as no surprise, especially to her. But what I'm trying to say in a very convoluted way is that she had an amazing thirst for knowledge and a lovely photo surfaced recently of us sitting in the garden playing rock, paper, stone, you know, the old nonsense game. And she looked at it and she said, I beat you that time. and she probably actually remembers that she did.
Yeah.
And I remember one morning, just me and her, we sat and we had our breakfast. She'd about 2 or 3. And she looked at me and she said, Dad, no, Paul, you recognise that familiar phrasing? Paul? Dad, it'll turn your blood cold. And she said, Dad, where's poo come from? So I thought there's two ways of doing this. I thought you can either fob her off with some fairy tale nonsense, which never worked with her when she was 2. Certainly doesn't work with her now. Or use it as a learning experience. Dad, you know, blah blah blah. So I said, well, I said, we've just had a lovely breakfast and the food we've eaten is working its way through our tummies, giving us all sorts of, she remembers it, all sorts of nutritious bits and pieces that are going to help us grow and be strong and all that sort of stuff. Goes to our tummies, and then when our tummies are finished using all that, it comes out as stuff. And when we go to the toilet, it just comes out as poo.
It's got a bit weird, this fella. A bit weird,
That's what
you brought my speech now.
That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. And I said, yeah, we eat all this stuff, it goes into our tummies, we sit in the toilet, it comes out as poo. She looks at me, like she's looking at me now. And she says, what about Tigger? And Piglet. And you.
That's okay.
Where do they come from? No, there's somebody really thick amongst you.
There's a few like,
Put your hands up and I'll explain it. So. Time passes. She becomes a fully fledged career girl. Turns out that, unlike her father, she has an aptitude for everything organisational. Planning, problem solving, sorting stuff out. Makes the whole place run like clockwork. And she begins a meteoric rise. Is that what she said? A meteoric rise through the company. Her planning and organisational skills have stood her in good stead for this event. Now, Julie and I encountered this in the wedding invite process. No doubt we've all seen the lovely invites. Been asked to reply with food options, stuff, and you know, everything wonderful. Which we all thought was wonderful. You know, it was good, wasn't it? You know, I'd never experienced that before, obviously. And even a music choice. So I completed the music choice, which was immediately rejected.
I'm pretty sure you only submitted your recent one last week.
Yeah. but she said, if you can get this lot to dance to Captain Beefheart or Can or Radiohead, you're a better man than But after a few mix-ups getting these returned, I get a message. Hi Dad, and this is quoted exactly from what she said. Hi Dad, read your wedding guest list spreadsheet. I haven't received your choices. Can't move you from the unconfirmed list. I guess I'm preaching to the converted. Can't move you from the unconfirmed list until I get it. I said, and I asked her to cross out a few words. I said, me? I'm your father, for goodness sake. Of course I'm coming. And she said, yeah, but you're in a red column. And I need you to go to green. Anyway, something must have gone right. God, the bouncers would have kicked me out on the way. I mentioned the rock, paper, stone game when we were sat on a step in the garden on a beautiful, beautiful day, which we often did and still do. And she would say, what's that flower, Dad? What's that bird? And I like to think that those moments led to her interest in the natural world, which has blossomed, an accomplished wildlife photographer. For those who've seen her stuff, she knows the names of lots of things.
She makes half of them up.
Lots more things than I do, that's for sure. And a backwatcher and a counter and a champion of the environment, which we're very proud of. We're very proud of. We all are. Get some of the photos, get her calendars. She's an absolute.
Ellie in the Woods.
Oh, God, she's an absolute. But as well as the natural world, and this is the last page now, so you can all... But as well as the natural world, there have been encounters with the spirit world.
Oh, yeah.
Now, nobody has got the slightest idea what I'm going to say, especially you. This particular encounter, a couple of years ago, Ellie and Emily joined us in Bilbao in southwest Portugal. I'm like that comedian and does that sort of thing. And you can't hear him for a while, probably better. We were in Bilbao in southwest Portugal. Friends of ours run a bar, and we had an invite to a barbecue, live music night. Eat and drink as much as you like. In both. In true Ellie style, she interpreted it as drink as much as you can. we arrived early and left very, very late. Rotten and Pat were glad to see the back of us. I can confirm that. As we left, I digress. As we left, we made our way through the village, and a really severe fog, which you get in southwest Portugal sometimes, are blown on shore. You literally could not see the person stood next to you. If I was touching Ellie now, all I could hear would be Ellie, or I couldn't see her. The girls decided, these three Herberts alongside me, they decided that we were being pursued in the fog by the terrifying fog people who were chasing us with bad intent. This is ringing a bell, don't it? Yeah. Well, you've never heard such screeching, howling laughter in your life. It was like there was 300 ladies lost in the fog, being pursued by the fog people, instead of three quiet demure. As they look now, they look now as if butter wouldn't melt, don't they? But they went mental. But luckily, the folk of the village in Bilbao, they rallied round, and they were opening their windows and shouting, "Look out! Take care! Watch out for the terrible fog, people!" Now, I'm not fluent in Portuguese, but I think that's what the locals were shouting at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning at these three screaming lunatics. A further visit was penciled in for my 60th, nice big villa, which fell foul of COVID, unfortunately. But I've assured Ellie that this is still on the agenda to take place at some point in the future. And you won't be surprised to learn that when I told her this, she said, yeah, it's on my future holidays spread. Still awaiting confirmation. But it's been a busy time of late, so I haven't had any formal reminders so far. No doubt she'll tell me if I go from here to rest. Anyway, that's enough nonsense from me. I'm just about done. Can you make sure you've had all your glasses are charged? And please stand with me. Please stand with me, raise your glass to toast a happy couple. I know that Paul will love and cherish Ellie every bit as much as I do. Here's a toast to a happy and healthy life, full of endless love and laughter. Ellie and Paul.